And we're back, and it's Monday, and I have a big confession to make. So I trained on Saturday. It was deadlifts and ring dips, and I filmed everything. I told you about everything. I told you about my form, technique, everything. And then afterwards, I realized that my lens was in manual focus the entire time, and it was a blur. Literally, everything was a blur. So unless you just wanted to listen to me talk, I didn't feel like it was worthwhile editing. So I'm sorry about that. And can someone even tell me why there's a manual focus on the lens? Because who uses manual focus? I mean, really, like, I need one that just has autofocus, because if that little knobby thing moves to manual, like, I'm screwed. Anyway. Regardless of that, I need a checklist to make sure I run through everything, to make sure everything is right. And today we're back to squats. So this is a very intensive section at the moment for squats, because we are maintaining 5 of 5 every single week, 3 times a week. In theory, it should be 5 times a week, but because I am still doing all the other exercises and the other compounds as well, I'm not doing 5 of 5 times a week. I'm doing it 3 times a week. So this is my last set of back squats for today. And I'm really, really happy with how they're feeling. If you have noticed, you might not have, I have 105 kilograms on the bar, which is a big deal for me, okay? I'm still weighing 62 kilograms. In fact, I weighed 62 kilograms on the dot. So I've actually lost weight, even though I've upped my calories. So it could have been like a metabolic spike, or the inflammation from being sick has come off. Therefore, the water retention has come off. And this is again why I don't necessarily go by weight on the scale, and more how I'm feeling and looking. But I can definitely tell that I haven't put on any fat. But I am feeling a little bit more human after overindulging a bit this weekend on food. But anyway, so this is my 5th set. So I have done all 5 sets on 105 kilograms, or should I say I've done 4 sets, and this is my last set, all on 105 kilograms, and they're feeling smooth. Not too grindy, and I'm really just focusing on that back tightness and that back position. So you get to watch me for my last set, and hopefully this set I don't fuck up, because now I'm on camera. I have filmed a few of my other sets, which I'll probably put in the corner just so that I can prove to you I did all 5 sets at 105 kilos. But regardless of that, this is my last set. Remember, stay tight, look up, drive through mid to heel of your foot. 5 sets, 5 reps, and we've got this. Stay tight. Ta-da! They felt good. So it was a little grindy on the 5th rep. Ooh, still a little lightheaded though. Okay, so I am really, really happy about the fact that I managed 105.45 at 62 kilograms, completely raw. Yeah, so the goal is if I could do about 110 by the end of this strength cycle of squat focus. So it's intense. And if you are joining me for the strength period, we've got I've got an entire 12-week program planned of what I'm going to be doing. And hopefully, if nothing goes awry and I don't get sick or something spots up, I should be doing all 6 weeks of this programming. And I'm fucking excited about it because it is literally just targeting squats, strength, and rehabilitating my hamstrings, also growing my booty. You know, it's not like, and this is something to remember if you are primarily focused on hypertrophy or strength. Things take time. You know, you're not going to suddenly wake up one day and have an ass. It's going to be like 3 years and then you'll progressively get an ass. And because you're looking at yourself every single day, you won't even notice the changes. And that's one thing that I'm very guilty of. I'm so in the moment. I'm so focused on everything that I don't like, that I don't appreciate the progress that I've made. And that's why progress pictures are so important, because you won't notice week to week any changes, but you will over a long period of time. And unfortunately, bodybuilding and powerlifting are long-term goals. And so you need little incremental goals to help you, you know, stay focused and stay motivated, because otherwise you will feel despondent because you don't see the progress overnight. In fact, you don't see the progress over 2 months or 3 months. It can take years to see the progress. So just make sure that you have little goals to keep you motivated the entire time. But I'm fucking happy with 105 kilograms for 5 sets, 5 reps. Good start to the week. We're moving on to dips, and then we've got more legs. So this is like fucking legs. We're gonna grow some motherfucking legs. Friends don't let friends skip leg days, and I'm not gonna let you skip leg days. So we're on. Squats are done. Now we're on to dips, which I haven't really covered. And the reason I haven't never really covered it is because I'm actually still learning the calisthenics technique of doing dips. Before I kind of just did dips, whereas now I'm actually like, oh, there's actually technique involved. And I'm not 100% confident in that technique. So teaching it is not something that I would feel comfortable doing, because I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But I'll show you what I have discovered, or at least seen people saying. So one of the most important thing is you don't want to dip that way. Okay. You want to keep your forearms straight and in line with your wrists, so that your wrists aren't put under unnecessary strain. So they tend to dip that way as opposed to doing that way. Okay. Which is what I used to do. So I used to dip that way. You want to dip almost forward, keeping your forearm in line with your wrist and your hand the entire time for minimum strain. And then obviously you're just going to a 90-degree angle with your shoulder in line with your elbow, and you don't want to go too much lower, because obviously, again, too much strain will, cause potential injury and whatnot. So this is week 2 for dips. So even though squats are staying at 5 by 5 every single week, everything else I'm periodizing. So everything else at least isn't under as much intensity for this block. And I do get a little bit of rest between the sheer volume of leg training. So 4 by 4, remember, if you're doing 4 by 4, that means every working set warm up set up to your working weight, you are doing at the rep scheme for the day. So 4 reps for every single set. So even though I'm aiming to go around about 50, 55 kilograms with this, I hope. I still do 1 set, just body weight, really just to focus on. So keeping everything nice and tight. Remember, you want to kind of have your hands a little bit more over rather than that way around. Again, this is a personal preference. I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't know if it is better to kind of have it in or out. That's just how I kind of feel would put less pressure on the wrist joint itself by having it straighter. And then you want to bend forward, keeping that forearm straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep everything nice and tight. Remember to breathe, especially when we're going heavier. If you are still learning to do dips and body weight dips, then just loop an elastic band around here and jump on with your knees and use that as assistance. So even if you cannot do body weight dips, I would suggest still doing dips this way because they are really, really beneficial. And I find that bench dips you can cheat just too easily. Like you can use your legs too much. There's so many ways to manipulate like a bench dip if you're just, going like that. Whereas this, you just can't manipulate, Yes, you can kip it slightly, but that if you're not strong enough to kip, if you're not strong enough to do a dip, you're not necessarily even strong enough to manipulate it to do a kip. So I would suggest just banding the fuck out of the dip station if you need to. If you don't even have the strength to do a bodyweight dip, that's fine. You will get there. I started with bands as well, where I just literally looped my knees over and did them. So I'm going up to 25 kilograms. Can you see me if I sit down here? Yes, you can. So I'm just going to faff around here. The most time-consuming part of my workout is this sort of stuff. And I got a new clip, which is more secure, but it's big and cumbersome, and sometimes I really do end up faffing with it unnecessarily. Right. And these belts, if you're wondering, you can just order from Amazon or any calisthenics place. I think you call it a dip belt, or weighted dip belt, or chain belt. I don't actually know what the classification is. I just kind of Googled weighted dip belts and found it and purchased one that looked reasonably decent. Okay, so we're starting first set, 25 kilograms. Right, so remember, I like to squeeze my legs and my thighs against the plate to stop it swinging too much, because the instability of the plate will make it even harder. So you want to kind of squeeze the plate to help with stabilizing, keeping your core tight. And then remember, you're going forward as opposed to down, so you're not putting unnecessary strain on your wrist and other joints during the movement. Okay. I'm going to have to move this thingy a bit further back. So that was 25. That felt good. I'm going to have to chalk up my hands because I can feel I'm a little slippery. And then I'm going to jump to 50. Hopefully the goal being about 55 kilos. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to train up for my next set, and I'll see you in a bit. We're on to potentially the first working set, though I'm really hoping it's not. Got 50 kilograms ready to roll. So fatty part where I load up. Okay. Ooh, don't know if I moved the plate. We're about to find out. Smooth this a bit further back. Okay. Right. One thing that I've discovered when I'm not wearing pants is sometimes the chain pinches my thighs. And then I end up with almost like hickeys on my thighs. It's quite fucking painful when it pinches. Right. So 4 reps. Remember to squeeze the plates to keep it stable, and breathe. Happy with that. So I don't know, maybe 55. I still don't want to push it too crazy to begin with. I want to make sure that I'm still getting form and range of motion, rather than kind of pushing the boundaries where I could potentially fail. Yet. So I'm gonna try 55, see how that feels. I would love to do 60, but I think that's just a bit too over optimistic. So I'm gonna add 5 kilos and I will catch you in a bit for 55 kilos. We got 55 kilos. And I'm faffing around again. And then, right, so we'll see how this goes. Right, okay. So I've chalked up. Make sure you chalk up. So the last thing you want is slipping. Slippage. All right, okay. Okay. Right, 4 reps. 4 reps. Let's go, 4 reps. Happy with that, but I'm going to stay there. Right. So 3 more sets because it's 4 of 4. So I've got 3 more sets on 55 kilos and then move on to a little bit of accessory for legs. But otherwise, so far, so good for a Monday morning. We're fucking happy. We're making gains, baby. Right, so main movement's done. Now we've got some fun time. Gains. This is where things get a little bit more interesting, where you can vary things up and play around. So I'm going to stick with some heavy movements today. So I'm going to do some hack, hopefully some leg press, and then superset it with a lighter leg movement as well. So we're going heavy straight into light for maximum kind of like blood flow into the leg and getting everything nice and pumped as much as possible. So the goal with the hack squat is hitting depth every single time. It's frustrating because this hack has a safety which I feel is too high. So I'm not getting the depth that I would ideally want. So one way to get a little bit lower is to move your feet a little bit higher on the plate, which allows me to go a little bit lower on the movement. And then just making sure that my feet are slightly pointed out. And my knees follow the line of my toes. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for 8 to 10 reps, and then I'm gonna go straight into time and attention squats with a dumbbell. And so this is the heavy part. I may work down to like 5 to 6 reps on towards the end, but I'll see how it goes. The goal is 4 working sets. So this is my first working set, straight into the dumbbells, and let's see how it goes. Okay. So that is the superset. Oh, okay. It's more of a quad dominant superset than anything else. I find hacks in particular pretty much quad, especially when the fucking safety is too high, so you can't get depth. So maximum heavy weight, might go a little bit heavier. I think that was 10 reps. So I'm going to add a little bit more weight. So I'm fighting for 5 to 6 reps. Straight into dumbbell pulses or partials. So you want to go all the way down, okay? 3/4 of the way up till you feel tension in your hamstrings and your glutes, and then back down again. And you're going to do maximum reps. So you don't want to choose dumbbell too heavy, that pulls you forward. And obviously you want to do like, the goal is, I don't know how many I did, so I might just be contradicting myself here, but the goal is about 10 to 15 reps with the time on the tension. You want to keep it slightly higher, I feel, well, at least more reps than what you would do on the hack. So, for example, if you're doing 10 reps on the hack, 5 reps on the hack, try to get 10 reps on the dumbbell partials. Yeah, so I'm going to do 3 more sets. So that was my first working set. We're doing 4 working sets. And then we're going to move on to the next exercise. So, yeah, going good so far. Love it. So, I was going to do leg press. Leg press is currently unavailable for however much longer, so I didn't want to wait, so I've decided to do some stiff leg deadlifts. It's more of a compound movement anyway, and I can focus more on my hamstring, which is the primary goal anyway, because both the hack and the squats that I was doing did isolate the quads a lot more. So I'm just going to do a little bit of focus on the hamstring to end off the workout. So I'm going to be doing stiff leg deadlifts supersetted with reverse hypers or back extensions, depending on which one's available. And that one is going to be a focus on hamstring and glute, not lower back. So it is more hamstring glute superset. So it does kind of like hammer the muscle a lot harder, and so rest between the sets is more imperative. It's not like I'm doing a superset where I'm working complementary muscles like doing hamstrings and quads. Then you don't have to rest as long, because obviously you're working 2 different muscles, so they're kind of resting whilst the other one's working. So I've taken my shoes off for this one. I like to be flat-footed with stiff leg deadlifts. And the goal is keeping time under tension in the hamstrings, and really focusing on that. So a couple of things I like to do with this one is I keep my weight almost exclusively mid to rear foot, so that I'm not falling onto toes, which would engage more quad. And another thing that I like to do is focus on almost like pulling myself back upright with my hamstrings. And at the very top, you can see I don't go back. I stay slightly forward, and I really focus on squeezing my glutes at the top and staying in tension as much as I possibly can. One thing that I might do is strap my hands in so that I'm not worried about my grip losing as I do the reps. But yeah, I'm going to do 3 more sets. So ending off the workout with some back extensions, but with a hamstring focus. I did not end up super because it was just too busy in the gym, and it happens. You know, you can't always superset, and It just takes a little bit longer. That's one of the main reasons that I love superset is because you can work through a workout a little bit quicker than kind of like doing a set, waiting, doing a set, waiting. You know, you're able to kind of move through the exercise a bit quicker. But regardless of that, we're on to hamstrings, with back extensions. So a couple of things that I like to do is I bend my legs in order to really engage, literally just like bending my knees. I can already feel that I can focus on my glutes and my hamstrings more. And then I go slowly down, completely extend the hamstrings and the glutes. You want to make sure you get that full extension and then contract, pull yourself back up. Focus on pulling yourself up with your hamstrings and your glutes. It's all about time under tension here and establishing that nice solid muscle-mind connection. As you can see, I keep my back quite curved over, which allows even more hamstring and glute focus. The moment you extend up, you start to engage your lower back, and you don't want to do that. We want to keep the tension and the control in the glutes and the hamstrings as much as possibly can. Stretch everything out at the bottom. Remember, stretching helps with growth. So make sure we get that in. Ah. Mm. Ah. 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 I'm gonna stay up here now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 10 pulses. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh. Oh. Yeah, that felt good. Really hammered the hamstrings and glutes in that one. So I'm going to do 3 more sets on that. And that is going to be my Monday workout. Fucking loved it. Pretty much legs, legs, legs. It's going to be a lot of legs. So if legs are your goals, squats are your goals, we're in it together, baby, and we're going to get fucking strong. So whatever time of the day or night it is, I hope you're kicking ass. You are awesome. Remember that. And make 2024 your year to smash some fucking goals. Let's have it.